Week 12 is in the books. So that means it's time to hit those waiver wires to find players that could add value to the back end of your rosters. And I usually do this whole spiel here, but I'm not going to do that from here on out just because I feel like I've been reiterating myself. But any rostership percentages that I mentioned in this video are coming from real leagues on myfantasyleague.com. So these are real percentages from real dynasty leagues, not just pulling these players out of nowhere. So first and foremost, I have a couple of players that are highly rostered, but not 100% rostered that I think should be. And that includes Taylor Heineke, Samaje Perine, Darrell Henderson, Chuba Hubbard, Kyron Williams, Tyrion Davis-Price, Isaiah McKenzie, Darius Slayton, David Bell, and Foster Moreau. And then also just another addition. I'm just going to remind you guys basically every single week from here on out, any other direct handcuffs that are sitting on your waiver wires. I'm talking like Matt Breida, DJ Dallas, JaMychal Hasty, all those kind of guys. If they are on your waiver wires, you need to go out and grab them right now. Drop your wide receiver 8, 9, 10, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's handcuffing season. Get ready for the fantasy playoffs because injuries can strike, and we'll get more to that here in just a second. All right, let's get things started. I have 6 players you need to add from the Dynasty waiver wires this week. And first up, I feel like people didn't take me seriously last week when I said that Latavius Murray is a legitimate flex play moving forward every single week with a really soft schedule against running backs. And that was before Denver cut Melvin Gordon. This is entirely Latavius Murray's backfield as he dominated running back touches on Sunday, nearly totaled 100 yards from scrimmage, and he was also vultured out of a touchdown when the Broncos decided to trust Russell Wilson with a pass to whoever Brandon Johnson is on the 1-yard line, and they converted that 1-yard pass instead of just handing it off to Latavius Murray. So that touchdown could have made his fantasy day that much better. I'm really not joking when I say that Murray could be on a lot of championship rosters by the end of December, especially when he's available in so many leagues out there right now still. I will also include Marlon Mack as the handcuff to Murray right now in case Murray were to get hurt. Mack is the only other running back on this roster without Chase Edmonds, and everything that I said about Murray would apply to Mack too if he were to become the starter for the rest of the season. So speaking of picking up handcuff running backs right now, and moving on to this next player, as if I needed any more justification this week for some of my advice recently, Travis Etienne went down early on Sunday with a foot injury, and that left JaMychal Hasty as the primary running back for Jacksonville this week. Hasty then proceeded to have 17 touches for nearly 100 total yards and a touchdown in Etienne's stead. Now, granted, no one actually started JaMychal Hasty to take advantage of those points this week, but this game only emphasizes my point from last week that you need to roster handcuffs. An injury can happen to anyone at any time, and you need to be prepared when that injury does happen. Unfortunately for Hasty, it seems like the news of Travis Etienne's injury is that he's going to come back. He might have actually been able to come back during that game on Sunday, but they just decided to play it safe and go with JaMychal Hasty because he was doing well enough. They also just picked up Darrell Henderson, so the true handcuff in Jacksonville might actually just be Darrell Henderson, but Henderson has also not been a perfectly healthy player in his career either, so it is still possible that Hasty could get another shot at a starter role in a game that we are actually prepared to start him in this year. So still be prepared, and I would still be adding JaMychal Hasty. Hey guys, real quick, I just want to let y'all know that for this week only until Friday, December 2nd, 2022, DLF is running a Black Friday / Cyber Monday sale that is giving you guys 30% off of a year-long subscription to DLF Premium. This is by far the best discount and best opportunity to go and buy a full year's worth of DLF Premium. With the premium subscription, you get access to all of our premium articles on the website, our Dynasty rankings, DLF ADP, all the way back to 2014, plus the Dynasty Trade Analyzer, the Dynasty Trade Finder, and much, much more, including more tools, draft guides, all that kind of stuff. We have prided ourselves on being the best source of content for Dynasty fantasy football since 2006 in the fantasy industry, and this is the best possible opportunity to get access to a year-long subscription. So go in, check out the link down below. You can sign up using promo code CYBER2022 at dynastyleaguefootball.com, or like I said, check out the link down below to get yourself a 30% off discount for a year-long subscription to DLF Premium. A couple more running backs to add this week after another injury are Zonovan Knight and Ty Johnson for the New York Jets, with Michael Carter leaving the game with an ankle injury. Now, James Robinson was actually a healthy scratch this past week, which I think is a massive sign that the Jets just don't believe Robinson can get the job done anymore, and either or both Zonovan Knight and Ty Johnson can handle things well enough, which I think they proved this week. Both players rushed for over 60 yards on 19 combined attempts, and Zonovan Knight actually added an additional 50 yards through the air. Now, if Michael Carter were to be out and James Robinson were to continue being a healthy scratch and you had to choose between the two, my pick is Knight, who out-touched Johnson 17-6 and also had the receiving work, as I mentioned before. Johnson's production mainly came on like a 32-yard touchdown at the end of the third quarter. So if Carter were to sit, like I said, I think Knight could be a huge pickup for playoff teams right now, especially if the Jets are actually kind of legit now with Mike White at quarterback. The last running back that I wanted to specifically talk about this week is Ronald Jones. Gross, I know, I get it, but we have to stick with the theme here, and Rojo is the only other between the tackles running back on the Chiefs right now, behind Isaiah Pacheco now that CEH is on IR. If Pacheco were to get hurt and miss any time, Ronald Jones would step in as the main two-down back for the Chiefs, with Jerick McKinnon getting the majority, if not all, of the receiving work. And you pair that with the Chiefs' super juicy schedule of the Houston Texans and Seattle Seahawks in the first 2 weeks of the fantasy playoffs, and we could have another league-winning type of running back in Ronald Jones, given his availability right now in waiver wires and just that opportunity that he would have to be really good in the first 2 weeks of the fantasy playoffs. It's handcuffing season right now. We can't let any stone go unturned. So go out there and add Ronald Jones just on the slight chance that he does get that opportunity. Now, the last player I wanted to mention in this video is just a reiteration of adding Richie James again this week, just like I mentioned in last week's video too. Everything that I said last week still applies to Richie James right now, especially after a solid performance of 15 PPR points on Thursday night, though basically all of it was on the final drive, but garbage time still counts, so that's all right. Basically what I said last week about picking up Richie James was that he's the Wan'Dale Robinson replacement in this offense, and though he's not nearly as talented, that's still valuable in PPR leagues specifically because he can get 7, 8, 9 targets, catch 4, 5, 6 passes, be good enough to score double-digit fantasy points like we've seen him do in multiple games throughout the season, including this past week. So as Wan'Dale Robinson continues to be out, Richie James could be a somewhat of a desperate flex play for a lot of you out there if you are desperate at the position. And if you're looking for some more moves to make after week 12, I highly recommend checking out Justin's video right up here.